Airlines spent over $40 million last year on lobbying, and part of that money went toward making sure you never find out what's in this video. These aren't hacks. These aren't tricks. These are legitimate rights, documented policies, and little-known regulations that the aviation industry benefits enormously from keeping off your radar. As someone who has spent years deep in airline policy documents, DOT filings, and conversations with industry professionals, I can tell you, the gap between what airlines tell you and what they're legally required to offer you is staggering. 12 loopholes, all legal, all working right now, and airlines are hoping you scroll past this before you get to number 7. The first one catches people off guard every single time. You can cancel almost any flight within 24 hours of booking and receive a complete refund. No cancellation fee, no travel credit, no runaround. This isn't a favor airlines are doing you. It's a Department of Transportation rule that has been in effect since 2012 and was reaffirmed in updated guidance as recently as 2024. The rule applies to any flight booked at least 7 days before departure on any carrier operating in or out of the United States. What airlines do instead is bury their cancellation buttons, redirect you to change flight options, and count on you not knowing the clock is ticking. The moment you book, you have a 24-hour window. Use it if plans shift. You're entitled to every cent back. Here's what most people miss about being bumped from a flight. If an airline involuntarily removes you from an overbooked flight, federal regulations require them to compensate you, and not with a voucher unless you agree to one. Under DOT rules, if your replacement flight arrives more than 4 hours late on an international route, or more than 2 hours late domestically, that compensation can receive a $1,550 in cash. Cash, not miles, not a travel credit that expires in 12 months. Airlines know that if they hand you a $200 voucher and say sorry for the inconvenience in a sympathetic voice, most people take it and walk away relieved. Don't walk away. Ask specifically, what is my cash compensation under DOT involuntary bump rules? Watch the conversation change immediately. Now this next one is genuinely controversial, so pay attention. It's called hidden city ticketing, and it works like this. Sometimes a flight from New York to Denver routed through Chicago is cheaper than a direct flight from New York to Chicago. If Chicago is actually where you want to go, you book the Denver ticket and simply exit at the layover. It's legal for passengers to do. Airlines hate it. Several have tried to sue travel booking sites over it. A federal court in 2014 sided with the practice being permissible for travelers. The caveat, and this matters, you cannot check a bag because it will continue to Denver without you. And it's not a strategy for frequent flyers on that airline, since carriers have been known to flag accounts using it regularly. Use it selectively and use it smart. Stop for a second and think about this one. Your checked bag arrives 4 hours after you land. You needed your toiletries for a meeting. You bought a toothbrush, a shirt, a phone charger. That's reimbursable. Airlines are required to compensate you for reasonable essential expenses incurred because of delayed baggage delivery. The key word is reasonable. A $14 toothbrush and a $40 shirt, yes. A $300 dinner, probably not. Keep your receipts, file a written claim within 21 days of travel, and reference the Montreal Convention if you're on an international flight. The Montreal Convention sets a liability limit near $1,780 for baggage issues on international routes. Most travelers toss the receipts and forget about it. You now know better. The upgrade window is something gate agents know and almost never broadcast. Roughly 24 to 48 hours before departure, airlines release unsold premium cabin inventory at dramatically reduced upgrade prices, sometimes as low as $50 to $150 for domestic business class. If you're flying an airline you have any status with, even the lowest tier, this is when you call or use the app, not 6 weeks out, not the day you booked, the day before. Industry insiders on professional aviation forums consistently confirm this window exists across major U.S. carriers. Set a reminder on your phone for the night before your next flight. The seat might be waiting for you. But here's where it gets interesting. And this one affects more travelers than any other point in this video. When your flight is delayed due to airline-controlled reasons, mechanical issues, crew scheduling, aircraft swaps, and that delay stretches past a certain threshold, carriers are obligated to provide meal vouchers, and in some cases, hotel accommodations. The threshold varies. Most major U.S. airlines have committed under DOT enforcement agreements to provide meals for delays exceeding 3 hours and hotels for overnight delays caused by controllable factors. The critiques. Cal phrase you need to know is controllable delay. Weather doesn't qualify. A broken seatback screen that grounded the plane does. When you're stuck at the gate, ask the gate agent directly, is this a controllable delay? If yes, ask for the meal voucher on the spot. Don't wait to be offered it. Write this down. If you carry a travel rewards credit card, and more than 40% of American adults do, according to a 2025 Consumer Financial Protection Bureau survey, your cardholder agreement may contain companion fare benefits, automatic trip delay insurance, and lost luggage reimbursement that layer on top of what the airline owes you. Most cardholders never file these claims because they don't know the benefits exist. Log into your credit card portal tonight, search for travel benefits, and read what you've been paying for. One successful trip delay claim can reimburse hundreds in hotel and meal costs you would have eaten entirely on your own. Elite status feels like something you earn over years. It doesn't have to be. Status matching and status challenge programs allow you to leverage elite status with one airline to fast-track to equivalent status at another. If you have gold status with one carrier, a competing airline may grant you their equivalent tier immediately or offer you a challenge, fly 3 segments in 90 days and keep it. A 2025 analysis by a major travel research publication found that status challenges are available from at least 6 major carriers at any given time, though they're rarely advertised on the homepage. Search Airline Name Status Match 2026 and see what comes up. This alone could change how you fly for the next 12 months. Now pay attention to this. Not all seats in economy are created equal. Exit row seats, bulkhead rows, and specific window seats in the last 3 rows of narrow-body aircraft tend to experience significantly less cabin noise. On wide-body planes, seats near the wing experience less turbulence perception. None of this costs extra on most carriers if you book at the right time. Seat selection opens 24 hours before departure for basic economy on most major airlines. Set that alarm and move before the good seats are gone. Here's the number that airlines genuinely do not want you to remember. $3,800. Under DOT regulations, airline liability for lost, damaged, or delayed baggage on domestic U.S. flights is capped at $3,800 per passenger. On international flights covered by the Montreal Convention, the limit is approximately $1,780. When your bag is lost and an airline agent offers you $400 as a settlement, they are offering you a fraction of what you are legally owed. File a formal written claim. Reference the liability cap. If you don't get traction, the DOT Aviation Consumer Protection Division accepts complaints at the federal level, and airlines respond to those far more reliably than to a frustrated call center conversation. The schedule change rule is one of the cleanest loopholes in this entire list. If an airline changes your scheduled departure or arrival time by more than 30 minutes, some carriers set the threshold at 60 minutes, you have the right to request a full cash refund rather than accepting the new itinerary. This applies even to non-refundable tickets. Airlines frequently rebook passengers automatically and send a cheerful email saying, "We've updated your itinerary." What they don't say is that you don't have to accept it. Reply in writing, state that the schedule change exceeds the permissible threshold, and request a full refund. The DOT's 2024 final rule on refunds makes this enforceable. And finally, this one surprises almost everyone. Frequent flyer miles belonging to a deceased family member are not simply erased. Many major carriers will transfer accumulated miles to a designated beneficiary with proper documentation, a death certificate, and a written request. Some charge a small processing fee, others do it at no cost. Delta, United, and American all have documented processes for this, though airline websites rarely feature them prominently. If a parent or spouse has passed and left behind a significant miles balance, it's worth a phone call before you assume those miles disappeared. They likely didn't. You now know what most travelers spend a lifetime never discovering. 12 protections, 12 rights, 12 tools that were available to you all along, and that airlines quietly hoped would stay buried in the fine print. The 24-hour cancellation rule, the involuntary bump cash compensation, and the schedule change refund right alone could be worth hundreds of dollars on your very next trip. Use them. These policies are in effect today, but the regulatory landscape around air travel moves faster than most people realize. What's available now may tighten. If one of these changes how you approach your next flight, drop it in the comments. And if you want to keep building this kind of knowledge, the next video is already waiting for you.